What's up YouTube community, Bernd here, welcome back to another video lesson. In this one I want to show you a really cool finger picking trick that will allow you to play some really fast and very impressive licks. The secret to learning this impressive technique will be correctly combining pull-offs to open strings with your left hand with plucked notes that you're playing with your thumb and your index finger. So let's check out what this is all about and start right away. Advanced fingerpicking licks and tricks was another topic from the Patreon wishlist for this month, so I decided to feature it in this video. In case you didn't already know, my patrons get to vote for the lesson topics each month, so they are a very active part of this channel and overall community. So when we think about the topic of fingerpicking, we don't really have shred phrases and crazy arpeggio or scale licks in mind. You would probably associate it with something like that. So a chord arrangement or something with walking bass. Or even something like slapping. But today we want to check out playing without a pick in the context of shredding and guitar solos. So this is the workout and practical example I prepared for you today. You can download the tabs, guitar profiles and practice backing tracks for this exercise on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Bernd. I upload these really helpful files for every single lesson that I post here on YouTube, and new members gain access to the entire archive immediately. So let's take a closer look at this really cool technique right now. I promise that it's not as hard as it looks. Let's only work with 3 different notes in the beginning, since it's the same pattern and concept, essentially just moved through a scale in different positions. Let's work with D on the 7th fret on the G string, A on the 5th fret on the high E string, and the open high E string. First of all, you need to get a bit of a feeling for playing with your thumb and index finger if you never worked with fingerpicking before. So naturally you want to assign your thumb to the lower string and your index finger to the higher string. So we are playing D with our thumb on the G string and A with our index finger on the high E string. And in order to get used to that, you can just turn on a metronome and just play eighth notes or quarter notes. We will start with our index finger with A right here on the 5th fret on the high E string because of the pattern that we will work on later, and then continue with our thumb. So in the beginning you can really just take it easy and play eighth notes or quarter notes. So the first exercise could look something like that. So really basic, just to get a feeling for the motion. And you also don't want to play too hard or too soft, so that's something you have to figure out in the beginning, and it's great when you work on this with a metronome, so you make sure to play in time. Once you get that going steadily, we can introduce the magic. So the trick I want to show you right here, and your biggest takeaway from this lesson, is introducing a pull-off after you played the note with your index finger, just pulling off to the open high E string, and then I'm playing D with my thumb. So I have a group of 3 notes, 1, 2, 3. And of course that's perfect for a pattern in triplets, so really slow, this is how it sounds like. So make sure to watch my right hand right here. I'm playing index finger, pull off, thumb. Index finger, pull off, thumb. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So just 2 strokes and the pull off with my left hand. And once I start to speed that up, it sounds really cool. So it's just a matter of patience. The motion is relatively simple actually, and it sounds much faster because of the pull-off that I'm incorporating with my left hand. And of course the next thing I can do, like I demonstrated it in the practical example, is moving this pattern around to make it more interesting. In the beginning I can keep it really simple and just move this exact shape around the neck, but I'm always pulling off to the open high E string. So I'm playing something like... And that already sounds pretty cool, but the next challenge would be to use more fingers, of course. So for example, when I stick to this basic shape we started out with, I can also use my pinky finger for C here on the 8th fret on the high E string, or for B. And of course always pulling off to the open high E string, keeping the triplet pattern going. So I could play something like that, for example. And that's already much more challenging. So we're getting closer and closer to the actual workout that I recorded for you. Here I was working with different fingers, but I was also moving the pattern through different positions on the neck, and I was also working with different strings. This is the last challenge we can also add. So this was the first pattern that I played. So this one is pretty hard already because of the stretching you can see right here. When I play it a bit slower, this is how it sounds like. So right here it goes all the way up to A. That's the difficult stretch because you still have to get that pull off right here. So that can be quite difficult in the beginning. So the full phrase sounds something like that. So it's a real good workout for your left hand too, not just for your finger picking. And then we move on to two identical phrases, just in two different positions. So here we have some nice dissonance because I'm playing F and not F sharp, like I would play it in the E natural minor scale, playing the Phrygian interval, and when we're pulling off to E, we get that minor second interval. And the last part was the most challenging one because I didn't just pull off to the high E string, I was also pulling off to the B string. And it always gets really hard when you have to perform that trick on multiple strings. So if you want to learn this in detail, make sure to check out the tabs and guitar profiles on Patreon. It's a great workout for your left hand, for your pull-offs, but of course also for your finger picking. For now I just want you to try out this basic pattern that we discussed in the beginning. Just constantly looping it, getting it consistent, and then you can slowly start to speed it up. And then you can check out what to do with it creatively later on. I really hope that you enjoyed this short lesson and that it was something new and interesting for you. Please let me know in the lesson topic votings if we should dive deeper into this interesting technique to work on more licks and exercises like that one. I will hopefully see you in the next video lesson. All the best and have fun practicing until then.